当に素晴らしい戦いぶりでしたが、今日はその中から勝ち抜いた2つのチームによる対決です。
Hola amigos, bienvenidos de regreso a la transmisión. Ahorita ya van a empezar lo que son las finales de Copa del Mundo de lo que es Splatoon 2 World Championship. Así que bueno, vamos a tener esta final. Voy a dejar puestas las finales mientras yo me voy ahorita por unos momentos. Les voy a dejar aquí el gameplay para que lo vean. Y bueno, ya tomaré otra vez, digamos, la narración cuando regrese. Cuando regrese, bueno, ya seguiremos con la narración, ¿sale? Mientras yo les voy a dejar aquí por el momento yo les voy a dejar aquí pues las finales.
And Charles 9 Whitehead. And before we get to our thoughts, let's take a look at what we saw from the eight pools yesterday. All of the semifinal action that we saw here at the Belasco Theater. We saw these four squads battle it out in some truly epic matchups. Set to Destroy X falling to the back squids in match 1. The GG boys representing Japan get the victory over Yeah Nah. Set to Destroy X gets the victory over Yeah Nah in the match 3, and then match 4, the GG boys secure the #1 seed in the semifinals over the back squids. And so we saw some terrific action, and I want to talk to you guys. Your thoughts on yesterday? I think we're still trying to catch our breath from everything we saw there, Ashley.
Oh my gosh, well I think you could easily call yesterday's last match a pretty big upset. I mean, the defending champions, USA, get taken down by the back squids after some intense play. Went to fight. I can't believe it. We were totally losing our minds. And 9, I mean, I think you of all people, backstage afterwards, we were just like shaking each other. It was so much fun.
I could barely breathe. It was so
después de esto,
bueno,
vamos a estar viendo lo que es el invitacional de Super Smash Bros. Terminando estas finales, ya hasta presentaron lo que es el trofeo y todo. Por ahí vimos a Zero, ahí conviviendo con unas botargas de Splatoon, de los squids. Así que, bueno, pues vamos a ver qué tal. A ver, vamos a ver qué tienen que mostrarnos ahorita.
Used in ancient cultures to write sacred texts. It drips. Sometimes it drops. Early monks used it to create quiet masterpieces. Gutenberg pressed it. And today, we use ink to determine the winner of the Splatoon 2 World Championship, where 4 teams come together to compete for the coveted Sterling Squid. Representing Japan are the GG boys. Dynamon returns with his new team after splatting out over 800 teams in Japan and is now looking to bring that Sterling Squid home.
I am Dynamon.
Etona, Taish, Yamamichi.
We are GG boys.
GG boys.
And representing Europe is Back Squids. The winners of the Splatoon European Championship, this German team brings a fresh name and team spirit aplenty as they take on the rest of the world. Hey, you're supposed to smile here.
He's smiling. Hi, I'm Dean.
I'm Eiko.
I'm Watson.
I'm Kaito.
And I'm Magic K. Rose.
And we are the Back Squids.
Back Squids.
Now that we've met our teams, it's time to split!
Okay, esos van a ser los dos equipos que se van a
teams in
enfrentar
regional qualifiers. We're down to our final 2, so the bracket's pretty simple at this point. You have the GG boys from Japan taking on the Back Squids from Europe. The winner of this best of 7 will be crowned the champions of the Splatoon 2 World Championship. And 9, let's take a closer look at the Back Squids from Europe as far as what they were able to accomplish yesterday to find themselves here in the finals.
Well, anytime you go up against Set to Destroy X, you know you're going to have to deal with intense frontline pressure. the backliners that they ran. You see here on the sniper, that is Echo, and of course, Majin using that rapid blaster. It's so important that you're able to control the pressure. You see some great snipes right there, and the opponent has to deal with that. They can't keep running into the wall. Sometimes they do. They took advantage, and of course, Watson right here. Yesterday's human highlight reel seemed like every time there was a big play, he found himself in the middle.
And it was exciting because in that semifinal against Set to Destroy X, we got to the 5th game, and it was 2 points on tower control that separated either one of these teams from making it to the finals.
And on top of that, maybe the biggest pop-off that I've ever seen. The chairs were flying, headphones were flying. You can see it right here. Poor Kaito almost gets knocked down right here, has to get caught up. We have our people there in the back helping them stay up. But that's the raw emotion that you want to see. And if you thought that was big, if they pull off this win today, watch out.
And going up against them will be the GG boys from Japan. Ashley, they overcame over 800 teams in their regional qualifier. What did we see from them yesterday, their undefeated route here to the finals?
I mean, yesterday we saw a lot of GGs. I mean, that is what they are known for, and that is what they brought to this tournament. Yamamichi out in that front line alongside Taiji, alongside Taiji was absolutely indestructible. I mean, Yamamichi by himself, it's like having 2 separate players for each one of those dualies, and you know, nobody could stop him. And so I think today, if Backsquids wants to get some work done, they're gonna have to figure out how to neutralize Yamamichi.
And with Dynamon also, we saw him switch between that Dynamo roller and also the heavy Splatling, so very versatile from their backline player.
Really great job of giving cover, making sure that his frontliners were able to do their jobs.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the route that we will have for our championship. It's a best of 7. We'll be exploring each game mode except Turf War. We already covered that. So let's start with Splat Zones, followed by Tower Control, Clam Blitz, Rainmaker, and then if necessary, Game 5, we'll go back to Splat Zones, some more Tower Control, Game 6. I think everybody here would love to see 7 games. That would be concluded with Rainmaker.
Muy bien,
you
amigos.
look at the basic principles of Splat Zone, and with these teams, we obviously know it's a very easy goal. It's a matter of just getting ink in the zone and controlling it. But 9, oftentimes, it's really about making sure you can secure the zone and then get that push as you look at the rules over Splat Zones.
And there kind of is a flow to it, an ebb and flow, if you will. Whenever you have the zone, you know your opponent is going to build up their specials and use that to push back in. It's all about saving your specials for that moment and using that to kind of thrust aside that initial push and keep control of that zone.
And Ashley, a lot of times it's making sure that you are making those calculated pushes, like 9 said. You want to make sure you've got a numbers advantage and some specials ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and of course, you always want to keep your eye on the clock, because at some point, you know, that music's going to kick in, and if it's close, you're going to want to get in there and really manage your specials as tightly as you can. And so communication is so key.
You talk about that. Communication not only is it important in relationships and life, but also when it comes to team play in Splatoon here, 9. And tell us a little bit more about these special communication devices these teams are using.
Well, they are special communication devices tailored specifically for this event. You saw it in the early video. There are some sick decals on the side of it. And like you said, there's only 4 people out here. They all need to be informed. If 2 of you go down, that's half your team. You're not going to get anything done.
All right, well, looks like our players are in the lobby right now getting set. And Ashley, just a reminder, they only get the main abilities with their clothing and decor. You don't get those sub-abilities, so that's going to change some of the things these teams do as they get set for Splat Zone.
That's right. You're not going to see a 12 stack of swim speed today. So they're going to have to be a little more discerning, a little more judicious on what kind of loadouts they have. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the weapon loadout is. But 9, what do you think everybody should be choosing in the way of? I mean, yes, we saw a lot of rapid blasters. I mean, I think that's the order of the day. But what else besides that do you think we're going to see?
Well, a healthy dosage of rapid blasters, a healthy dosage of inkjet. If you can use either one of those things, one weapon actually is both of those things, the rapid blaster deco, so best of both worlds. But I think these teams, especially on this first map, Splat Zone's Walleye Warehouse, are going to use some ink armor. We didn't see it as much, but I know the NZAP, a very popular pick here because it's so easy to get locked out.
Well, you mentioned the stage that will be on Walleye Warehouse, and Ashley, what do you notice about this one when it comes to Splat Zones?
I mean, I love Walleye Warehouse because there's so many ways to get into the center of the map, and a couple of them are ink-proof, right? So you have some grates that you can walk on. You don't have to worry about getting locked out of that lane. So I think that's going to be the most exciting part.
Well, let's go with the signature. Let's get it cracking. Game one of these grand finals. The GG boys from Japan in the orange taking on the back squids from Europe in the purple. And let's look at this loadout here. 9, any surprises?
Well, we do see that NZAP 85, a weapon that's kind of fallen out of favor recently, but like we mentioned earlier, very popular there for the Ink Armor, although already Yamamichi going down. This is a great opening for the back squids.
Kaito getting the splat right there. 430 in this one. Early advantage right now for the back squids, 83 to 100, as that score continues to drop for the back squids of Europe. They've got a 4-3 advantage on the map, and Ashley, they wasted no time at claiming that splat zone.
No time at all, and Watson is doing exactly what I said they needed to do, which is neutralizing Yamamichi before he can even get close to anyone else on the team.
Echo with the Stingray, another Stingray being deployed by Dynamon, and Stingray on Stingray. And we have the GG boys seizing control of the zone, putting that 38-second penalty on the back squids. 9.
Yeah, and it was great that Dynamon was able to not go down in that situation. A trade is not what they wanted because they did not have as much pressure in the middle. It allowed them to continue to put pressure down with that Stingray, although it does look like it switched all the way back.
Back squids reclaiming control of the zone. 51-87 as they cut into that penalty. Kaito with another splat on Yamamichi. 4-3 on the field, 4-2, and you start to see the forces for the back squids here actually push forward and try to keep the GG boys at bay.
Yeah, I really like seeing what Echo's doing here with the splat lane. He is literally keeping everyone out of this lane that Dynamon is trying to put some ink down on so that they can get around and try to flank.
Back squids looking to make a statement in game one against the GG boys, but here come the boys. They're back in town and they've got control of the zone at this point. And 9, you look at Yamamichi on that Inkjet, pairing it with the Ink Storm. Beautiful use of both specials.
Absolutely, and you know, Yamamichi at the beginning of this match kind of got caught out by himself, maybe a little bit too aggressive. I like that he didn't go in too deep with that. He's applying pressure here, but he's not too far from the rest of his team.
Yamamichi dodging and rolling, trying to super jump back. Here comes an Inkjet and a baller being deployed for the back squids. Zone is at neutral at this point. Reclaimed by the GG boys. They're now just 18 seconds away from tying this game up. We've got a 3-1 advantage on the field for the GG boys as another back squid goes down, and it looks like Yamamichi has found his rhythm, and now it's the GG boys putting pressure on the back squids, Ashley, as Japan takes the lead.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they do best. They are so good at making sure that if there is any tiny bit of taking a step too close to their base, they can take advantage of that and really convert.
And that'll do it. The GG boys turning the tide of momentum against the back squids, locking things down and getting the victory in splat zones. And 9, we really seem to see the GG boys settle down and really play some excellent play, and they stayed alive and put the pressure on the back squids.
And at the beginning, they were getting separated. They were starting to get a little bit staggered. We saw almost immediately Yamamichi went down, but once they got locked out that second time, they grouped back up. They used Dynamon's Stingray to push back in. Even if you don't splat somebody with it, sometimes the damage is enough so that someone else can come in and get that assist. And at that point, it was all about the lockout.
But also the back squids coming out aggressively, Ashley. They were able to secure the zone, hold it for the majority of the match early on, but then you saw the GG boys take control of it. And splat zones is a hard mode to come from behind on, but we saw the GG boys able to accomplish that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is at the very beginning, I think you were right. I think Yamamichi maybe got out there by himself and was maybe a little bit exposed and was able to get splatted a couple of times by the back squids. But then once they all kind of found their rhythm, got together, communicated with each other, again, like I think we started seeing a very team-oriented rush at certain points where Dynamon was giving them lots of cover with that Stingray, and I think that led them to victory.
GG boys take the first game in this championship final, best of 7. Up next, we have tower control. So let's take a look at the basic layout of that for those of us that haven't had a chance to play this glorious game mode. Ride the tower into the enemy's base. Yes, it's a tower in tower control. Surprise, surprise. The tower moves automatically on a set path once a player is on it. And if the battle ends without the tower reaching the goal, the team with the lowest goal distance wins. But we talked about this yesterday, 9. Those checkpoints are going to be different in every single stage. Being able to manage and get past those checkpoints oftentimes makes the difference.
And if you do have a Stingray, you're going to use it. If you're not tired of Stingray, you will be by the end of this mode. Stingray is so powerful for clearing off that tower, especially if it gets stuck at that checkpoint. You know exactly where everybody's going to be. Just clean it up, let your frontliners go in. It's a nice back and forth.
And what we saw yesterday with the GG boys, Ashley, we saw Dynamon using that heavy splatling on the tower, and instead of using the charger, you look at the ability of the heavy splatling. What advantages does it have?
I think for Dynamon, I mean, he's a roller guy, right? So I think we see a lot of the heavy splatling as opposed to a charger just because, one, you can put down so much ink on the ground and give lanes to your teammates, where with a charger, you're maybe putting down a little bit less ink, you have to be a little more precise, and also you leave yourself open to people coming around and flanking you from behind.
Nine, let's chat about some sub-weapons here. What do you think plays well in tower control?
Well, if you've got a bomb, now's the time to use it. Pretty much all of them great, but if you have some toxic mist, you know, it's not a bad idea. The people who are on the tower, they're going to be trying to fire back at you. You throw that toxic mist on there, suddenly they don't have those resources, makes it a little easier to stop that push.
We'll be doing tower control on Wahoo World. The players changing their abilities, changing their weapons at this point, but you look at Wahoo World, a level that just dropped recently like it's hot, and your thoughts on what we're going to see from the stage here, Ashley?
I am really looking forward to how these teams handle tower control because this map is so new. It's the newest map, and they've had the least amount of time to work on it and to really figure out what their strategy is. So we might see some improvisation here as we kind of get closer to the end checkpoints.
Let's get set for game number 2 in this grand final of the Splatoon 2 World Championship. A wonderful crowd here at the Belasco Theater on hand to see who will be crowned the champions of the world. You're gonna have the GG Boys of Japan in the blue, the Back Squids of Europe in the green. Let's take an initial look at the loadouts and please guide us through this, Professor Nine.
Well, this was the money comp for them last time. We saw that incredible Game 5 tower control match. It was Echo on the Charger and Majin on this Rapid Blaster Pro. Echo, like you said, Ashley, a big responsibility, needs to get some picks early on to help start this push.
Dynamon not wasting any time getting control of that Stingray. A splat for splat, but already a 3-1 advantage on the field for the GG Boys, but the tower gets stuck right there. Taiji trying to make some ground, ink some turf right now. Going to use that ink jet, trying to put some pressure on the spawn of the Back Squids, but now it's 4-4 on the field. Tower reclaimed by the GG Boys as Dynamon trying to lock things down like a padlock, Ashley.
Yeah, I think that was really smart by Taiji to get forward, try to keep people away from getting toward the tower so that they could put some numbers up on the map.
And Nine, we see Kaito at work at this point. What have we seen from the Back Squids in their strategy early on?
Well, actually, things were looking kind of bad for them. Yamamichi was taking the attention of 2 people, but Kaito was actually able to almost single-handedly push in and get the splats necessary to stop that. We do see the Stingray here. This push might be a little bit delayed, but their defense has been strongest so far.
You saw Kaito with the inkjet and a couple of GG Boys swimming out of harm's way, and now Watson once again with that slosher. We know a few teams yesterday were seeing buckets in their nightmares thanks to Watson and what he was able to do. And now the Back Squids have control of the tower. They start to improve their scores. Watson continues to provide some support. Yamamichi, though, gets the splat on Watson, trying to put some pressure on the tower. And that's how you play some defense right there, Nine.
How many times are we going to say this guy's name? Yamamichi found a way behind all of that pressure, took out the defender of the tower, and it gave his team the chance to come back in and clean it up. What a play.
Etana using the Ink Storm Ink Jet by Yamamichi being deployed as well, too. So you've got a couple of specials in use right now for the GG Boys, and a couple more in the tank. Keep an eye out for the Stingray. Oh, Yamamichi putting on a clinic right now until Watson's able to stop things. Ken Watson, that baller against the Ink Jet, taking on 2 GG Boys. Oh, look at the splat as Taiji goes down, but enough of an effort there by the Back Squids, Ashley, to try and slow the progress of GG Boys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, gosh, Watson is just such a menace. I've never been more terrified of somebody carrying a bucket in my whole life, and honestly, it's working for him because Echo is on the tower and they are riding it in.
68-75, tightly contested match here. No team has cleared the first checkpoint. Oh, Echo! Unbelievable one shot right there, Nine, as the Stingray able to pay back some retribution for the GG Boys.
Dynamon is one of the biggest buzz kills I've ever seen. They had all the momentum going there, but he did not go down. They do lose the lead, but they're in a much better spot to defend this. Though the super jumps are back, this is getting dangerous.
The Back Squids putting some pressure on the GG Boys, but the GG Boys climb back up on top of the tower. 4-2 on the map, 2 minutes left. 14-point advantage for the Back Squids of Europe. Can they swim their way into a victory in game 2? Taiji a couple of forces right now. 4-3 on the field. They're looking for a big numbers advantage. Jet ready to go. Oh, they show that tower control just in time as the Back Squids continue to provide this defense. We're at a minute 45 here now. You got Dynamon on the tower.
I know we saw some highlight stuff there at the end, but so often you saw him engaged in those one-on-one duels with Taiji and Yamamichi, 2 of the best frontliners doing it right now. More often than not, he came out on top in those situations, and we will not be bringing out the broom today.
And Ashley, we saw a lot of sting.
A cerrar el chat porque El chat, vaya que jala mucha de la conexión.
Ray versus Stingray, and it seemed like a critical point at the end where you had both of those, and the back squids were able to get that.
Subir la resolución.
That splat on Dynamon that really seemed to secure the victory for them.
It really did. I mean, I would say that was the clutch moment where if Dynamon had survived through that entire Stingray and had taken out Echo, instead of it being a trade, I think this could have been a very different end.
Just an exhilarating match. Let's go ahead and look back at some of the replays here. And Nine, walk us through what we're seeing here, because we saw the momentum swing side to side throughout this match, but here's Watson.
Watson, and when you use a weapon like this on the slosher, you see that you've got some raised area here. It's going to allow you to kind of take advantage of it. But as we see there, Yamamichi using that stealth jump to come in, put pressure on the tower, and you see they kind of just close in on it. Everyone is aware of where that objective is. And, you know, because of the layout of this level, if you get stuck down there and it moves up, you have to jump back up to the top to get on it. And I'm glad that you mentioned that final splat being so important. They didn't have time to get up there before the respawns happened.
So now it's 1-1. We're guaranteed at least a game 5. So that's a treat for everybody here. Both these teams, as you see how evenly matched they are, Ashley, and the passion and also the organization we're seeing from both of these teams, these pushes. What can you say about the back squids and what we've seen the last couple of days from them?
I mean, gosh, I am so impressed with the level of play that they have brought to this tournament. The shot calling has been very good. The communication has been so good. And honestly, seeing them watch each other's backs, it's so different than when you play Splatoon 2 and you're just by yourself and you're playing Turf War. You know, to be able to play on a team of 4 people who are all communicating with each other, I mean, the level of
Ya no se ve nada. De hecho,
a
ver, ¿qué pasa?
Let's get set for our third game. It will be Clam Blitz, and here's the explanation behind that. You toss clams into the enemy basket. First team to score 100 points wins. Find clams scattered around the stage. Round up 10 clams to receive a power clam, which resembles a football, which it's not a court 9, but it's on a what? Field is the magic word we're looking for. You'll still get the sporty sports, my buddy. I tried to set you up.
I'm not going to entertain you. I am not going to do it today, sir.
A power clam is needed to break the basket's barrier. 1 clam equals 3 points. A power clam equals 20 points on the field of play out there. This is one of those game modes, 9, where it can be a little chaotic. You talk about clam management and the currency that's on the field at this point.
We call it the clam economy because it's so important to have your clams. We saw yesterday in the Set to Destroy X versus Back Squids game, Set to Destroy X had moments where they were pushing up, but they just didn't have the clams to follow it up. Because of that, teams will sometimes wait until they have enough of those power clams to really make a dent, because there is a penalty associated if you aren't able to score enough points.
And you don't want to give a pity clam to the opposing team, especially when they're already in the lead.
They're getting set with their gear and their weapons. It will be Clam Blitz on Manta Maria and Ashley. You look at Manta Maria in the middle of this stage is really where things happen, being able to control that area. But what else do we recognize about this level?
I mean, I think this is a really long, thin level, right? And so and it's also a little bit of a smaller stage. And so with Clam Blitz, I think there's a lot of verticality of that crow's nest. I think we're going to see a lot of, we're going to see some long range action here. I'm hoping Dynamon's on that splat again, and I think Echo is almost definitely going to be on a charger.
Players in the lobby, they're getting set still, and we talk about having the power clam here, 9, and obviously it gives up your position, but these teams are so good at communicating. Let us know a little bit more about how these teams break down these stages and communicate where people are and some of the terms they use.
Well, the easiest terms that you'll see are left and right. Sometimes simple is best. The real key is making sure they're quick call-outs because you have to know where the opponent is at now.
Let's get set for Clam Blitz on Manta Maria. You've got the GG boys of Japan in the purple taking on the Back Squids of Europe in the green. And let's break down these loadouts here and some of these main abilities. We saw a lot of stealth jump there, 9.
Anytime you have a long map like this, you know you're going to see a lot of super jumps coming back in. It's just an inevitability. If you're going to do that, it's very common to see some stealth jump to just make it a little bit easier.
Ya estamos de regreso, ahora sí.
Muy bien, señores.
Algo pasó ahí, no sé qué estaba pasando, pero ya estamos de regreso.
Clams with your teammates and pass them off, and when you get splatted, Ashley, you're giving up clams as well.
Yeah, you're giving up the clams to potentially to other team, but if you can keep them away from it at least until they disappear, you're probably in a much better place.
Watson with that slosher.
Veamos si se ve en pantalla completa.
Nine, we talk about this. You focus on the objective of the game, but you want to make sure you cover the turf and give your team plenty of space to move around.
Right, the fundamentals of the game never go away. You make sure that you control that turf, you give yourself the lanes, and it's an added benefit here in Clam Blitz. You can see the clams that are under your turf, so it's one more reason why you need to control the map.
Dynamon with a power clam. You see the GG boys trying to be the first ones to get on the board, waiting to find an opening.
Eso es lo que quería, que se viera en pantalla completa.
Perfecto,
así se va a ver. Así que lo vamos a poner en pantalla completa, amigos.
The GG boys, however, the back squids are able to stop everything and do a complete wipe of the GG boys here, Ashley.
That's one of the things that is so dangerous about doing those really big pushes with 3 team members or more, is that you're really risking an entire team wipe, and that's exactly what just happened.
And 9, you see Majin dropping the power clam, another teammate picking it up, and when you talk about having 3 power clams on the board, that changes the priority for the GG boys.
Zach, where do you put your defenses here? There's too much pressure coming in. They're going to set up this jump. The baller has gone in on Watson. Here they come.
Here they come.
1, 2, 3.
Execution is flawless from the back squids. You saw the baller roll in there, explode, and 3 super jumps by the goal. You can't write it any better than that, 9.
That is exactly what you want to see. Textbook play, but you're seeing now Dynamon going to try to do the
Muy bien,
exact
me voy a
same
traer
thing.
la comida para comentar aquí con ustedes lo que va pasando.
They're going to need their own slosher deco to build up a baller, though, before they can get too deep.
Dynamon with the power clam, trying to chase down a few members of the back squids. Back squids shifting to more of a defensive focus right now. They see the threat coming. Oh, Dynamon with 2 direct shots. That rapid blaster at close range can still get the job done. Dynamon trying to avoid the splat, but gets hit by the back squids, and now it's 2:15 left. 3-2 advantage on the field. And once again, Ashley, that defense from the back squids showing its head.
All you have to do at this point, if you're the back squids, is play really great defense. And unfortunately, Itona has a ball ready to go. So if GG boys can get a couple of power clams going, I think this could be real dangerous for the back squids.
Under 2 minutes left, Etona getting the power clam. However, you've got another one for the back squids at this point. And 9, both of these teams have a stiff penalty, so it's going to be a coordinated effort if you're looking to improve your score.
It is, and I love the way that back squids have been playing this defense. They know that they can't let the baller get close. This might be an awkward angle for them to hit in. They do score, but I don't know if they were able to get any other jumps. You see Taiji coming in is actually able to go through and gets a crucial double kill.
Huge.
We'll see if this is going to be enough. The next baller comes in.
Taiji, and you saw the other power clam, and now the GG boys are building up their lead. 29-40, but a 30-point penalty. Look at the timer at the top of your screen as well, too. That still has plenty of life to it. You can keep tossing clams as long as there's some purple there. GG boys looking for one more clam. Can it get there in time? Oh! The door is closed on Taiji, but they have built themselves a 17-point lead. 1 minute left. If you're the back squids here, Ashley, you got to shift from defense to offense at this point.
They're going to have to get very aggressive, but they're also going to have to be really careful because, again, you're going to have to make that run successful. Otherwise, it could end in a team wipe.
Echo with a power clam at this point. 42 seconds left. You see the bubble blower special ready to go. A power clam on the field for the GG boys. And 9, you've talked about it. It's clam management at this point. Are there enough on the field for the back squids to make a comeback?
Well, anytime you see 15 or more, or 20 or more at this case, that means that there's not a lot of clams for you to work with. They're going to need that power clam and a lot more points. Watson's going to be forced to use this baller pretty far out. They're going to have to make this push the old-fashioned way, and it looks like they might.
Oh, the GG boys able to shut the door on the push of the back squids. And here comes Yamamichi. They're going to go ahead and just get the KO. They send the back squids to the canvas on Clam Blitz, and they're now up 2-1 in these grand finals. And that's what we saw. We knew that the back squids had to become more offensively minded here, 9. And because of that, the GG boys were able to play some defense and then close the door on this match.
And that was just dirty. They snuck behind there. You saw at the top of the screen, one of the members of the back squids had super jump there. They thought they had it, but that allowed the GG boys to sneak behind them, score, and there was no one there to play defense.
And Ashley, we saw at the end of this game, the job that the GG boys did of gathering the other clams to make sure there wasn't enough money in the bank for the back squids to make a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, that is part of the game. It's a strategy to play a little bit of keep away with the remaining clams on the field. And so they did an excellent job of getting in the lead and then saying, you know what, all we have to do at this point is just keep the clams away from you so you can't get any more points.
One of the highlights of this matchup, 9, was this 3-player super jump into the baller.
Oh.
You called it as it was happening.
Beautiful.
Show us what we're seeing right here as 3 power clams on the side of the back squids.
Well, you can't draw it up any better than this. You see Watson was able to sneak all the way back through. He even jumped down there to the bottom in order to make sure that his team had just a little bit more. Taiji got there, but got there just a little bit too late. And Taiji, once again, this time, sometimes the great players make great plays. You see a full wipe there when Taiji was in a bad situation that allowed his team to jump in and was really the MVP of that game.
And it seemed like that was most likely the most critical point. Sure, you'll see highlights of that triple super jump, but Taiji's ability to lock down the base, get that wipe, really secured the victory for our GG boys.
Yeah, I mean, Taiji and Yamamichi are just incredible frontliners. They're so good at winning those one-on-ones, and that ends up in conversions, and you are going to be in a really good position if you can win those one-on-ones.
2-1 advantage in our grand finals, courtesy of the GG boys. We get set for game 4. It's going to be Rainmaker, so here's a rundown for those of you at home so you can follow. You're going to carry a mystical missile launcher, 9. Love that term right there. Called the Rainmaker. To a pedestal in the enemy base. The Rainmaker is initially located in the center of the stage and is protected by a barrier. If the battle ends without a KO, the team with the lowest goal distance will win. And take us through some high-level strategy with Rainmaker. Where does the coordination begin with this mode?
Well, you want to make sure that you have an alleyway secured before you make that push. There's, of course, moments where a scramble occurs, you take 2 or 3 down, and you just run it all you can. But these teams are so good at identifying where the Rainmaker is going to go and being preemptive. Don't be surprised if it takes a 2, 3, maybe even 4 down situation before they're willing to pick up that Rainmaker.
And a lot of times, Ashley, with that Rainmaker, you really have to be efficient. You've got to stay on the back line, it seems like, because you do want to plow your way forward, but you have to let your teammates clear the way and clear the threats for you as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust involved in Rainmaker, I think. So you have to really trust that your other 3 teammates are going to be taking good care of you and giving you some time, one, to load up the Rainmaker and actually fire it, because there's a little bit of a delay there. And on top of that, create those lanes for you to get you closer to the goal.
And you look at Camp Triggerfish, which is the stage that we'll be doing Rainmaker on, and what do you notice about this stage as it pertains to Rainmaker and how you navigate this map here, Ashley?
Well, we have that giant gap in the middle of the map, and I think that ends up being a little bit of there's a little bit of a back and forth across the way, as you would as summer camp, of course. And I think it's going to be a really fun thing to watch some of the longer range weapons get across that divide and really start picking off people.
And 9, as far as loadouts go with particular weapons, you know, we've seen a wide variety already in the first 3 game modes, but Rainmaker, what do teams tend to typically focus on?
Well, Stingray, especially on a map like this, going to be very popular. It's a long, narrow pathway that teams tend to run, but don't be surprised if we see something with a wall, because teams tend to go on that netting on the left side of the map. We might see that brand new fresh Glugadouli that we saw. Got the baller and just as I say it,
oh, the man does not even need a crystal ball to call that out. You see the Glugadoulis. GG boys from Japan, the GG boys from Japan in the yellow, and you've got the back squids in blue for Team Europe. 2-1 as we get set for game 4 at Etna already with the Rainmaker trying to advance and improve on the score, and the GG boys trying to make this a quick one. You see the suction bomb in the way of Etna, just being very patient as his teammates can clear things out. And 9, this is one of those game modes, if you blink, it could be over.
I was about to say that exact thing here. It's not going to be enough. They are going to be able to slow it down there, but you can see there's still 3 members there. This one's going to go even further, and Yamamichi is all up in them right now.
Yamamichi trying to clear out the threats, but the back squids do a great job of fortifying their base. You've got a 4-1 on the field advantage for the back squids, and they're going to go take that Rainmaker and just clear it on out of here. You clearly don't want that right by your base. They're going to just guard it, let it reset, 4-3 on the map, and here we see Echo with that charger once again. Ashley, oh, and picking people off once again.
Absolutely beautiful. Echo is so good on that charger, and I was surprised he wasn't on it last game, and I am just more than happy to see him on it this one.
350 left in this one. 3-3 on the field, make that 3-2 now, courtesy of the GG boys. They have the advantage and the lead, 30-0 at this point on Camp Triggerfish. And what we've seen already, 9, is every single stage has a particular route you can go with the Rainmaker, and the GG boys wasting no time building this lead.
They're being kind of greedy here. You see they're putting pressure on both sides at the same time. There is that nice little ink rail that kind of allows you access to both sides, which is not something that was there in the Splatoon 1 iteration of this game. Already they're going for more. You see Etna does get taken out pretty quick. This is a good Stingray. It's going to do just enough to take them out there as a 2-down situation. Again, it's solid defense, but we got to see some offense.
Echo getting the splat on Dynamon and stopping the movement of the Rainmaker at that point. Kaito using that splatter shot, trying to create some more ground for his team to operate. Great defense so far from the back squids, but we haven't seen a shred of offense from them. Inkjet ready to go for Kaito. You've got Watsdom on the ground with that slosher. 3-3 on the field, 3-2 advantage, and this is maybe where the back squids can make an offensive push, but they have to deal with Dynamon and that Inkjet, Ashley.
Yeah, that is very dangerous. It looks like Watsdom just got splatted, so it just gave Dynamon a whole lot of real estate to work with Itono right here. Got people jumping in already. Here's Yamamichi. Now again, you've got 3 of the GG boys right there on top of the Rainmaker.
2:25 left in this one. 2-1 advantage in the games. If the GG boys can get this, they'll have a huge 3-1 advantage getting set for Game 5. However, a couple more splats. Yamamichi getting splatted by Etna. Etna with those dual squelchers putting in some work right now. 2:10 left in this one. 4-4, plenty of time here. However, if you're the GG boys, you know that you've got the lead. Do you shift to a defensive mindset here, 9?
I don't think you change up the game plan whatsoever. As long as you play within yourself and you don't go too crazy here, I think you can play offense. That's not a spot you want to be. I'm a little bit surprised to see him moving towards the Rainmaker here. There might be a chance for a push on this left side.
Majin trying to keep a couple of the GG boys at bay with that Rapid Blaster. Here comes Echo with the Rainmaker. Baller on baller crime. Those both negate each other, but you see the splat on the left-hand side of your screen. Echo needs a convoy. Looking for some help to help improve that score. You've got those cargo nets. It's going to be very difficult to navigate. Trying to avoid the splat option. Oh, Echo getting behind the defenses, but it's not enough. And you see the score there, 9. It was 30-30, but because the GG boys got there first, back squids back at 31.
Can they get anyone up there? Kaito's got to run up there and grab that. The Inkjet's not going to be able to do so. The splash wall might have saved him. Kaito is able to get one, but they're going to need someone else to come back there and pop it. Kaito can't do it himself. He has to focus on the threat that's ahead. The Stingray up to help them. Can anybody grab it?
Kaito gets a couple of splats. Here comes Majin, and the back squids take the lead. Here comes the slam dunk, and the back squids able to do enough and put some pressure on the GG boys, and they lock this thing up here, Ashley.
Wow.
2-2.
I mean, I really thought that Rainmaker was going to go away. It
Okay,
was
vamos a bajarle un poquito
the last second for that Rainmaker to still be on the map, and Majin just picked it up and jumped over the top of someone and walked it in. It was crazy.
9, how about that concentrated push at the end? It just seemed like it was an endless stream of back squids deploying right in that area of the map against the GG boys, and the GG boys unable to reset that Rainmaker. Let's take a look at the replay of all of the action that we just watched. And 9, you look at how much these teams were battling back and forth, but here comes Echo at the pivotal moment of this match.
So many things going on right here. You see Majin had already worked around that backside and was able to get Echo this far into it. He jumps up here, throwing caution to the wind, but the splash wall just enough to slow it down. But credit to the back squids there. They gave themselves the position to super jump in. You could not have timed that dual special push there any better. Yamamichi trying his best, but with coordination like that, there's nothing a single player can do.
The 4-0 wipe like Charmin at the end right there. Excellent job. And you see the Stingray getting the critical splat, able to stop things right there. And Ashley, we now have ourselves at least a Game 6.
I mean, this is what we all want as Splatoon fans. This is the thing you want to see. We wanted to see a real championship match, and that is exactly what we're looking at.
We get set for a Game 5 in our best of 7, and both of these squads
los chinos,
back and forth, and that's a huge match right there, 9, because if you aren't able to get that victory, you're now down 3-1. You would have to beat the GG boys 3 times in a
Lo
row
que
to
vamos a
become
hacer
victorious
es,
and now give
terminando este
yourself some
streaming,
breathing room.
bueno, terminando el torneo, ya que empiece lo de Smash, vamos a cortar este streaming y yo creo que vamos a regresar con otro streaming aparte para no juntar estos dos torneos. Vamos a poner otro streaming aparte de Smash, ¿sale? Así que para, no sé, creo que nada más es una persona la que está ahorita aquí, no sé cuántos, si ven que se corta porque terminó el torneo, váyanse a la sintonicen en el siguiente directo ya que esté el invitacional de Smash, ¿sale?
All 4 teams that have played in this tournament is the ability to remain calm. I know that whenever I am in a situation similar to that while I play Splatoon, I am a panicker and I'm like, oh, I got to pick up the Rainmaker because it's just sitting right there in front of me. And these teams show incredible restraint when they know, like, no, I'm not the Rainmaker carrier. I'm going to wait for my teammates. I'm going to have a coordinated push. Like, we're going to do this together. And they've done, all of them have done such a good job at that.
Game 5 will be Splat Zones in the Reef, and Ashley, it was one of the first stages many people got their hands on when they first played Splatoon 2. Tell us about this stage, especially as it pertains to Splat Zones.
I mean, I love the Reef, and I think that this is the map that the teams have had the most time with, I would say, out of all of them. And so the Reef is the one that, you know, it's,
tienen una cultura
muy
de mucha organización.
The fight on the bridge.
O sea,
it's time for a fight on the
todo, siempre van con la mira de ser mejores en todo. Cualquier aspecto de su vida lo perfeccionan. Es como que la cultura, pienso yo. Y pues así como que los americanos, incluso sí somos como que más de, no somos tan disciplinados. Pienso yo que ese ahí el porqué. Porque como que vemos a los japoneses, pues como siempre muy OPs, ¿no? En todo. Yo pienso que es por eso.
Watson with that baller ready to go, trying to avoid both a sprinkler and a couple of curling bombs and an inkjet. It's raining down ink all over Watson. He goes ahead and deploys the baller to help protect him, but here comes Etna trying to turn the tide, trying to get the zone. Oh, critical splat from behind, and already the back squid's out to a 50 to 100 lead here, Ashley.
I mean, this has been very good play. They took out Dynamon on that roller very early on in the match, and I think that was so key to help them take over the splat zone. But
eso no es de Dios,
it looks like
pobres los
GG Boys
americanos.
took it right back.
Pues nosotros somos americanos en realidad. El equipo, bueno, los equipos que están peleando ahorita son alemanes es un equipo alemán contra un equipo japonés. Pero pues si se fijan, el equipo alemán como que tiene mucha etnicidad, ¿no? O sea, tiene mucha variante étnica. Y pues los nipones son nipones. Cuando está bien chido el streaming y Diego come con tranquilidad.
Ready to go. Can Watson put some pressure? Kaito gets the splat on the backliner of Dynamon. Trying to get another splat. Critical double splat, and I think those splat bombs might take out the spawn. And yes, we got a 2-0 wipe for the back squids as they now.
Pues se ve interesante el jueguillo, pero no sé, yo lo probé en la consola de mi primo y la verdad es que no me termina de llamar la atención. No sé. Gráficamente se ve muy bien, eso sí puedo decirlo. Está muy bien gráficamente y se ve que tiene buenas dinámicas en el juego. O sea, la jugabilidad, el gameplay es bueno, se ve y incita a lo competitivo, pero tal vez debo hacer un poco más a la idea, ¿no? El concepto. Para todos los que vienen de AMINO y tráiganse a los que estén en AMINO. Déjenme ver qué onda.
Taiji in the inkjet. Oh, he gets Kaito, but he's hungry. He wants some more. He's going after a few more back squids. Unable to eat right there. Here comes the baller. Watson trying to get into that zone. Enough to get a few sprinkles of ink in the splat zone, but it's not enough. GG Boys about 20 seconds away from victory, and Watson goes down. And 9, it looks like this is when the GG Boys take control of everything. Close it out. Looks like it's going to be no issue whatsoever. And They get the victory. They make it 3-2 as we get set for Game 6.
Second verse, same as the first. Exact same thing there. They came out into the lead, all guns ablazing there, but the lockout phase, you just saw the GG boys
bueno,
a
también
little
algunos
too
han de
good
estar
at
en la
it.
escuela.
Japan really focuses on splat zones. They run a lot of splat zones only tournaments, and you saw right there as we see Dynamon there coming out on top of that scorecard.
And Ashley, was very similar to the first match of splat zones, like Nine pointed out. The back squids taking the early advantage, but the GG boys really settling in, recapturing the zone, and then locking out the GG boys by really dominating their spawn.
Yeah, I think that
okay, van ganando los
nipones,
the
GG boys come out really aggressive on splat zones, and basically the strategy there is we're going to come out really aggressive if we can take over that splat zone. Great, but if not, that's okay. We have plenty of time to regroup, take it back, and go ahead and move forward from there. So I think that they have enough time and sort of the luxury of being really aggressive on that first push,
que si van a ganar
because they can always just come right back.
And now you talked about a big-time 1v1 matchup. Let's roll back the replay and see what you were referring to. This was a moment where really this game changed. You had the back squids really with the GG boys on the ropes.
Yes, and right here, Taiji did a great job of using the cover of Dynamon to move in. You see taking out Watson there, and right there you can just barely see them both shooting at each other. A little bit of strafing there, but Taiji taking that completely compromised the bridge. One more goes down off screen, and it just fell together.
They get the wipe against the back squids at that point. You saw the back squids only 13 seconds away from tying them, so we now see some of the great defense the back squids play. The GG boys give them a taste of their own medicine. We now get set for Game 6. It'll be tower control on Moray Towers, Ashley, one of the most notorious levels. Obviously, Moray Towers.
Smash Brothers level.
It is, yes. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about what we see here with Moray Towers, especially with tower control.
Oh man, I mean, Moray Towers, I think you're going Chargers all day long. Echo's going to be on that Charger 100%. We are going to see some Stingrays all day. It's going to get crazy out there.
And Nine, what do you think is going through the mind of the GG boys? They're one victory away from capturing the World Championship. And if you're the back squids, you were in this situation yesterday. You were down 2-1 against Set to Destroy X, and you're able to win the next 2 games to make your way to the finals. Tell us about what's going through the minds of these players, most likely.
Well, the back squids, no stranger to important wins on tower control. One of the greatest games I've ever seen played yesterday. They have to be confident. They know that this is a back and forth situation. They're not being outmatched. They know that if they execute, they can bring it to them. And I think it's almost the exactly same thing coming from the GG boys. It's just a matter of, all right, we're here. We know how we want to play this. Let's just do our thing and we'll get that win.
Players still in the lobby selecting their gear. Big time match, of course. If the GG boys get the victory, they are your Splatoon 2 world champions. Back squids trying to force a Game 7 if they can get a victory here. Tower control last time, Ashley. The back squids get the victory there. We saw how well they're able to play defensively late in that match. You figure Moray Tower, though, you got to have those long-range weapons to play some defense. Let's get set. Game 6, tower control. GG boys from Japan. Looking for a victory. Just one win away from a world championship. Can the back squids, with their backs against the wall, make it a Game 7? In the turquoise, you've got the GG boys of Japan. In the pink, you've got the back squids of Europe, and already we look at some of these loadouts here, Nine, and just a few long-range weapons that we see.
Only a few, but something to keep in mind is that 2 members are using a burst bomb weapon here. They're trying to use that so that they can pressure these long-range weapons. They know Dynamon is going to be able to sit back here on this flat link and make it very painful for them, and right now, it's not working for them.
GG boys on the tower. If you remember last year, Dynamon, part of that Dynamu team, they were looking to extend the match themselves on Moray Towers. What poetic justice it would be if they can get the victory here today on Moray Towers. Early on, Ashley, we see the GG boys trying to get through that first checkpoint.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see a lot of Stingray action back and forth. I think Dynamon is absolutely going to be gunning for Echo very specifically because he wants to keep Echo away from his special for as long as humanly possible.
49-100 advantage for the GG boys in this Game 6. The GG boys get the victory here. They are your world champions. Dynamon pushing even more forward with that Stingray. Gets the splat on Echo, and that's going to pave the way. Can the GG boys close this one out? 2 more back squids left. Can they play defense?
Los GG boys son el equipo alemán.
Get it done. They send the back squids to bed. No story time. You have our champions of the Splatoon 2 World Champions.
Ya ganaron los nipones. Los aplastaron a los alemanes, la verdad. Pobrecitos. Pues se supone que ya acabó, ¿eh? Según yo ya acabó. A ver, vamos a ver ahorita. Si dicen que ya se acabó, para nosotros terminar este directo e irnos directo a lo del Smash.
That's one of the quickest moving tower control maps in the game. You saw right there, it was just one wipe and it felt like they walked it all the way down to the 40s to that second checkpoint. And when you run with a shorter range composition like we saw there, we saw both of those short range weapons. If you do get boxed out, it becomes incredibly difficult to get back in. But once Echo went down there at the very end to that Stingray from Dynamon, like you said, Dynamon knew who the target was. They needed to take out that sniper. They did that, and they walked in at the end.
Yep. And Ashley, we got a chance to witness the championship last year in
That's
2017.
Right.
And how
tower
good do you think this feels for Dynamon? On tower control, their journey was stopped.
Overtime, 3 squids on a tower, and they all got spotted. It was heartbreaking. I think this for Dynamon has got to feel really great.
You talk about retribution. The GG boys are your champions of the Splatoon 2 World Championship. Give them a round of applause, but also the back squids a round of applause. Wonderful, wonderful job. And Nine, what can you just say about the tournament action we've seen over the last couple of days?
Well, I know I said a bunch about yesterday's action and how great of a set it was, but today lived up to expectations. We saw emotion.
Todo muy bien, mi estimado Keve. Te mando un saludo.
Of all kinds coming
Acaba
out
de
here,
terminar
and I think
las
it speaks to how
finales de
great of a
Splatoon.
game Splatoon 2 is that you can see such
Y
a great
ahorita vamos a
variety of
terminar
weapons.
el directo. Si ya se terminó aquí, terminamos el directo de Splatoon 2 y empezamos el directo del invitacional de Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Ahorita va a dar un anuncio el creador del juego de Splatoon. Va a decir unas palabras. Y si se despiden, iniciamos con lo que es Smash. ¿Sale?
すごい戦いでしたよね。
Sí, también
Wow, what a great final battle.
animales. Los alemanes están rotos también.
もう後ろで見ていてまだドキドキが止まらないです。
I'm still all worked up over seeing that. I can't believe it's over.
Club. Okay.
優勝した日本チームの皆さん、本当におめでとうございます。
I want to say congratulations to our champions, the Japan team.
Okay. Felicidades al equipo japonés, que son los campeones. GG Boys, o sea, el equipo así se llama, GG Boys. GG Boys.
それでは、優勝した皆さんの栄誉をたたえてメダルの贈呈をしたいと思います。
Now we'd like to present our winning team with some medals.
Ok, ya les van a dar sus medallitas a los ganadores. Vaya medallitas como las que usaba Tupac. De hecho, del vuelo de las que usaba Tupac. De oro puro, ¿no? Bueno, yo casi termino de comer, ¿eh? Así que nada más hay que ver aquí la premiación. Y si dicen que ya empieza el invitacional, recuerden, cortamos el directo y nos vamos al invitacional. Así que en cuanto se corte, sintonicen el siguiente. Luego lo voy a poner.
And we also have a trophy. Let's bring it out.
Aquí viene el trofeo.
昨年の大会でアメリカチームが持ち帰ったトロフィー、今年は日本チームの手に渡りました。
Well, this trophy went to the American team last year, but this time it's going to the team from Japan.
じゃあここで、じゃあここで記念撮影は大丈夫ですか？
Will we be taking a couple pictures? Let's maybe gather behind the table.
じゃあぜひトロフィーを真ん中にポーズを取って。
まずはチーム4人で。
持っています？重いですよ。
Se van a tomar una foto con el trofeo.
せーの。
Qué interesante, ¿no?
And Mr. Nogami, do you want to join?
そうですね。じゃあちょっと僕も入らせてもらって皆さんで記念撮影を。
Su cara. El trofeo le tapa toda la cara.
いや本当に皆さん 疲れ様でした。
Good work today, everybody.
でもヨーロッパのチームも本当に素晴らしい戦いでした。
We also saw some excellent play from our European team. Let's give them a hand.
También para el segundo lugar, que son europeos, muy buenas jugadas. Felicidades también. Vi por ahí un cosplay de Miku, una Miku, pero que está en dos personas al mismo tiempo, creo.
それでは最後に僕の方からちょっと挨拶をしたいと思います。いいですかね。
And I'd like to continue with some comments from my end as well.
じゃあこのままもう行っちゃいますよ。はい。はい。まずはもう一度改めて優勝した日本代表の皆さん、ですからおめでとうございます。
We'll finish by sending our Japanese team off the stage with one final congratulations. Let's hear it for them.
Les dijo, sí, bueno, pero ya váyanse.
それから本当に出場したアメリカ、ヨーロッパ、ニュージーランド、オーストラリア、すべてのチームの健闘を称えたいと思います。皆さんも拍手してあげてください。
And we want to hear some applause for all 4 of our teams from America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan, showing us excellent play over these last 2 days. Un aplauso para los equipos
de Australia, de Nueva Zelanda, creo de México y no sé qué más.
そして本当に会場にお越しの皆さん、あとインターネットから中継でご覧の皆さん、この大会を盛り上げていただいて本当にありがとうございます。
Atentos,
Terminamos este y iniciamos el de Smash. Everybody watching this broadcast online at home, thank you for your support.
いや本当にすべてのチームが全力を出し尽くしたもう素晴らしいもう手に汗を握る戦いの連続だったと思います。
My hands haven't been able to stop sweating from the spine-tingling matches we saw continue one after the other, and I think you can safely say that all of our players left everything they had on the turf.
で試合の結果ももちろん素晴らしいんですけども、何より僕が素晴らしいと感じたのはこの大会を通じて世界中のプレイヤーが交流を深めたことだと思います。
And while the results of the tournament are certainly something special, the thing that makes me happiest is to be able to hold a tournament like this that brings players together from around the world and allows them to extend and deepen their sense of community with each other.
ゲームが世界中の人々をつなぐ架け橋になっていたら研究しているものとしてはこれ以上の喜びはありません。
And as a researcher, you know, there's no greater joy than to use an event like this as a sort of a bridge. If we can use games, things like this, to bring players together and bring them together, extend that communication I mentioned earlier.
Splatoon 2を応援してくださって支えてくださった全世界のファンの皆さんに改めてお礼を申し上げたいと思います。ありがとうございました。
I want to use this opportunity to sincerely thank all of our fans around the world for their continued passion and support.
A ver, atentos a que ahorita que nos digan que ya se van, terminamos el directo y nos vamos al directo de Smash Brothers Invitational. Creo que ya acabó. A ver, ahorita que digan del Smash, hacemos ese cambio de streaming, ¿sale?
さてそんな皆さんにここで一つ私からお伝えしたいことがあります。
But now that we have you all here, there are a couple of things we'd like to share with you.
Okay, va a haber anuncios. A ver, chavos.
発売前のスプラトゥーンダイレクトでアップデート。
Sí, hablaban sobre el DLC. Va a haber DLC para todos aquellos que ya tengan Splatoon 2. Va a haber más actualizaciones y más DLC, ¿sale?
この度武器のアップデートを2018年12月まで継続することにしました。
Ahí está un poquito de lo que vamos a poder customizar, le digo yo, que es como modificar a nuestros avatares, personajes.
Or until July 2018. We're here to tell you that we'd like to continue updating weapons for the game until December of this year.
ellos van a seguir actualizando armas hasta este diciembre de este año. Van a seguir actualizando armas para el juego. Van a mostrar un video sobre esas actualizaciones. Actualizaciones de armas y de escenarios. Aquí está el trailer. Ahí está una nueva arma. La niña y el niño. El nuevo escenario. Ese escenario me gusta, Está guay. Este escenario me gusta.
But we have one other video we'd like to show you.
Dice Keve que cuál es mi main en Smash. Siempre ha sido Link mi main, pero depende de cada generación, Por cada generación cambia. En este último fue Cloud. Aunque Link, creo que sigo siendo con Link, sigo siendo mejor que con Cloud. Ok, aquí está un poquito de los nuevos escenarios que va a haber y nuevas armas en Splatoon 2. A partir de mañana. Ok. Ok, para... rayos, ya ni vi. Y bueno, a partir de mañana va a estar disponible el DLC, ¿sale?
So, this is the first paid DLC for Splatoon 2.
Okay.
Splatoon 2
es de paga, obviamente, no es gratuito.
And it is going to be available starting tomorrow.
時差がありますので、少し各地域の時間には差があるんですけども、全世界ほぼ同時に配信開始されます。
Now this will be a worldwide simultaneous release, but please check that screen that we showed earlier for the release times in your region.
Así es, al final chequen ahí, pero es mañana, o sea,
if we're speaking from an American perspective, this will be tomorrow evening.
En la tarde no importa, el chiste es que mañana sale, ¿sale? Para todos aquellos que tengan Splatoon 2 y les guste, DLC nuevo mañana. Y hasta diciembre van a seguir actualizando armas y escenarios, así que todavía va a haber contenido para ustedes.
For the first time as an Octoling character as you explore 80 new stages and the Splatoon 2 story and world at a deeper level. Please just
no sé si escuché mal, pero son 18 o 80 escenarios nuevos, o sea, son muchísimos. Muchísimos escenarios.
And one more thing.
Yo digo que sean 18, no 80.
Oh no, we're not done.
Okay, más anuncios.
We've also decided to release Amiibo figures for the main characters in the Octo expansion. The Octoling Girl, the Octoling Boy, and the Octoling Octopus.
De hecho, el niño se ve muy kawaii.
Now we've decided to release these Amiibo within 2018, but for further details about the release date, please stay tuned.
De Link, niño. Se ve guay.
That is all I've got for you today.
Ahora sí, dicen que ya es el final. Ahorita que digan ¡pum! Nos vamos al invitacional,
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Splatoon 2 World Championship over the last 2 days.
引き続きイベントをお楽しみください。
Please continue to enjoy the remaining, not avoid, you're going to be here, you want to enjoy the remaining tournament footage.
私はこれで失礼するんですけども、インクリングはもしかするとこの後も登場するかもしれません。
Alright, I'm going to be leaving the stage now, but keep your eyes open. You might glimpse a couple inklings coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Ok, este es el final, pero de la aparición del creador. Por lo que veo va a haber como que más, va a seguir el directo con más gameplay, por lo que veo, sobre estos nuevos DLCs. Así que bueno, vamos a esperarnos tantito. Si de repente cambian al invitacional, pues nos vamos. Smash. Vámonos, vámonos, vámonos. Vámonos. Voy a cortar el directo ahorita y nos vamos al Smash, ¿sale? Los veo en el siguiente streaming.